dos, tres.
My name is Ricardo Torres. You guys know me as Mr. Torres from chemistry class. Alongside me, I'll let my student interviewer introduce herself as well.
I'm Anaya. I'm a junior and I go to King College Prep.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And so today we have a very special guest. Please join me in welcoming Frank Hagoya, a proud graduate of Thornwood High School who has turned his passion for service and leadership into a thriving career in the restaurant industry. As the general manager of Lou Malnati's Pizza in Flossmoor, Illinois, Mr. Hagoya is known not just for running one of the area's most popular pizza spots, but for the way he genuinely cares for families and students he serves every day. A dedicated family man and a loyal community leader, he brings heart, hustle, and purpose to everything that he does. We're honored to have him here to share his journey from local students to respected businessmen. Let's give a warm Pizzeria welcome to Frank Hagoya.
T-Bird. I've never heard it put like that, but okay. But yeah,
It must be a new thing.
I know. I'm good at that.
So your mic is right there. Perfect. Could you test it out for me?
Hello.
Perfect. It works. All right. So, Mr. Hagoya, we'll start off real quick by saying that I am also a Thornwood alum, and as you heard, a lot of our students here are Thornwood students as well as alum that work here as well. Could you tell us a little bit about how your formative years were growing up here in the area, as well as all of our students here, and how Thornwood was back when you were in high school?
Well, like I said, I graduated in '91. A lot of my classes I did have a lot of math classes, so I ended up making it almost to trig. Wasn't the fondest of it, and didn't see that it would make a whole bunch of sense. But I would definitely say that my last year, I ended up going into like a work co-op program where I get out of class about 2-3 hours before everybody else and go to work most of the days. And even when I didn't have to work, I would still do it. But it was just it was nice to get out of school. I did pretty good. I think I was like B average, almost C average sometimes. But a lot of it was still just kind of getting into the classes, doing some of the work, and taking every bit of it, whatever I could, to work. And it was a really good balance between not only doing good in school, but the whole getting all that work history, or getting even under some of those years under my belt, being in the field of making my own money and earning my own income and kind of just developing myself.
Great. And so what do you think fostered a lot of that work ethic in you so early?
Both my parents worked really, really hard. My father worked in a steel mill, and my mom, when my mom wasn't working, my dad really was, and I was one of 4 boys in the house. And I mean, even when my oldest brother started his paper route, we were up back in the day when they had newspapers still. We all still woke up early and did the paper route with him, bagged all the newspapers, and we were literally out 4 or 5 in the morning doing deliveries. So we were taking newspapers out to houses and everything like that. So it's just kind of brought up that you work hard, you play hard. Probably my father's words.
I love that. And so I can really resonate with that because my father also worked at the steel mill. So growing up here and doing that, I bet that he was a really hard worker and instilled that in you. So I love that. So I'm going to pass it over to my student interviewer, and she has a question for you.
Absolutely.
So, to get to where you are now, what challenges did you have to face and how did you overcome them?
There's a lot of challenges because honestly, just like everything else in life, you're not going to be the only person looking for the job or looking for a job. And from Thornwood High School, I always remember Mr. Chappelle, my history teacher, telling me that the interviewer's job is probably to make the job seem like the worst thing in the world and to see if you still wanted the job afterwards. They wanted you to make the job seem as scary as it could be, as difficult as it might be, and for you to still tell me why I should kind of hire you. So at the end of the day, the only thing you can, at that age still is taken to the table is I'm hungry to learn, I'm open-minded to learn, and I'm willing to put in the grind or put in the hours, and just be open-minded about it all. So the more open-minded you are, the more feedback you'll get, and your perception on that feedback, your ability to take that feedback and not turn it into a negative, and turn it into, well, that might be just an opportunity that I have. Like my opportunities, I talk really fast sometimes, so definitely don't hesitate to slow me down a little bit. But yeah, so take the opportunity. And one of the things I had written down was, if you don't make decisions, then you won't make mistakes, and you'll never be able to grow and learn from those. Me as a manager, and I don't want to get carried away in, like, the wrong card, but I always tell any of my new employees or even my managers, if you don't make a decision, then I'll never know how to understand how you're thinking, or we'll never be able to communicate about what growths there might have been, what opportunities we could have gotten out of the mistake, or even celebrate, not even the negative way, but celebrate the wins. Hey, you know what? You decided you want to do something one way, and it worked out. That's awesome. So just be very open-minded and be humble and be willing to learn.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's all I'm hearing right now is just make sure that, everyone here is able to be coachable, open-minded, and make sure that, whatever, like you said, whatever decision that you're willing to make, whether it be for work, whether it be for school, keep an open mind, because, all these different doors that you guys have available to you can end, you can end up somewhere, great. So, did you have any mentors growing up that really influenced your career and your career trajectory, your career path, that you can really say that stood out to you?
I don't know about really, like I said, besides my father working so hard and knowing that it was always, you play hard, you work hard, you play hard. I mean, every restaurant that I worked at, there was some mentor, somebody that was just either pushing me to be better, or coaching me on how to take feedback, which even to this day still has. Even my most recent director took me about 1.5 years to learn how to take her feedback the right way and not push back, thinking that I don't need to be defensive about it. But everywhere I've gone, like, one of the notes that I had kind of written down was, every restaurant that I've ever worked at, just to take, you're always going to take some kind of feedback from that store, some type of knowledge from that store. The customer's always right. That's what everybody would always say. Well, no, they're really not. And Cracker Barrel would definitely tell you that they're not always right, because if I know how to make something, then you really can't tell me that it's wrong. If I know, not to say anybody else's name, but I know that people, I was born and raised on Aurelio's Pizza, but I know that Lou Malnati's makes a great pizza. Probably not I love their thin sauce at Aurelio's, but they're not going to like my sauce. And I've heard it before. They don't like our thin crust pizzas because they're born and raised on Aurelio's. It's a whole different world. They don't have to like it. It doesn't mean we're doing a bad thing. So, yeah, the guests aren't going to always be right. I mean, otherwise I wouldn't be in the business that I'm in either, so.
Absolutely, and I can attest, Aurelio's goes crazy. Big Aurelio's fan.
Yeah.
I believe my student has another question.
Yes.
Okay, so what is some advice that you would give young people who are interested in working their way up in the food service industry?
In the food industry itself, is be willing to work hard for it. So I can tell you just 2 things that I tell. Yeah, I mean, I'm not interviewing anybody here, but I mean, I can tell you right now, 2 things I tell every single employee or candidate or anybody that I feel like I'm going to interview is, A, I don't hire people I need to babysit. Your job is nothing but to make my job and my staff's job easier. It's not me that'll make or break you, it's my staff that will. It is my staff that'll say, when I come in and I'm working with Joe, either I'm going to have to work twice as hard because he's not pulling his weight, or it's going to be like, he's in the bathroom for the 20th time and we know he's on his phone. Or it's going to be like, oh, you pull up to the parking lot and thank God Joe's here because I know he's going to work his tail off. I know he's going to make my job easier. I know he's awesome to work around. He works with me. I know he likes to have a good time at work, which we all want to. But the difference is when you prioritize having a good time at work and working and having a good time. It's just which one you put first. I want my entire staff, and I don't like when they say they work for me. I try to make it so that my staff realize they work with me. And the keys that I have, the door with my name on it, the office, the recognition being here is just about what my staff does for me. And so the only advice I would be is, like I said, the second thing I tell everybody is just being on time. It really is important. It's a huge respect level of my time, of my restaurant's time, just as much as you want your paycheck to be on time wherever you're going to go, whatever industry you're going to be in, you want your paycheck to be on time. So just always be on time. Be respectful of other people's time.
Absolutely. And so I'm hearing a lot of things that, I can definitely resonate with. When you guys come in, for a lot of you, I always feel like, I'm glad that you guys are here. And so, always make it to wherever you're going that people want you there. You're doing things to where people are excited when you walk in. People know that you're there to not only help them, but also there to learn. And so I'm going to get into a little bit of the nitty gritty here. And so it's okay if you've never had one of these situations, but I'm sure you probably have with so much experience. Have you ever had a real tough customer or situation happen to you, and how did you handle it?
It was probably like a humbling experience in River North. I had some customers that were eating food, and they wanted us to put 2 pieces on their plate, and unfortunately our serving plates are pretty small, and our pizza's really big, which is good. But the guy insisted to almost put 2 pieces of pizza on his plate, so he did. He ended up spilling it on his shirt, and the sauce, I mean, the pizza just came out, so the sauce was a little bit hot, and he burnt himself a little bit. It's not like it's scalding or anything like that, but he did burn himself a little bit, and he seemed pretty cool about it, but his friend was more irate or more upset about it, like why we weren't going to buy something for him. And I'm like, I was the manager on the floor, so I was taking care of him anyways. And like I said, the guy wasn't putting up a big gripe with me, but his friend was more like, oh, are we going to do anything for you? I'm like, for what? And it was just one of those things where just in my past, it's just, we never want to get nobody ever wants to get taken advantage of. Nobody does. Nobody wants that feeling of getting taken advantage of. And it just turned into one of those things where, you know, again, Mark Malnati, not again, I know it's not a whole bunch about Malnati's way, but one of his biggest things is err on the side of generosity with our guests. It's not my money, it's his money, and we wouldn't be as far as we have without that mindset a little bit. So take care of the guests, smile, nod, get them out of your way, and take care of the other 9 million guests that I know we take care of on a regular basis. Take care of don't worry about the noise of the negative experiences, and just, I mean, every other guest that I know, every other guest that knows my name, every other guest that their kids come in and I can get a hug from or give a cookie to or anything like that, that's the reason why I do what I do, and I mean why I'm where I'm at. And I mean, so don't thrive on the negative about it. I mean, it's not going to do anything for you tomorrow. It's not going to do anything for you 20 minutes later. It's not going to do anything for you the next 30 guests that know who you are, that you know who their name is, and every bit of that.
Okay, so how do you usually maintain these high standards for customer service and food quality across your staff?
I think that just like my passion, I'm very passionate about what I do. I love to this day what I do, but I guess on the same side of it, they also see the other side of it too. They know when something's not going right, they can read as much as I try to not have my body language show I'm in a bad mood, but they can see I'm kind of pissed off about something or upset about something not going the right way. So, I mean, not to be funny about it, but I'm just as human as they are. I just have had a lot of years of experience trying to maintain that level of, if I go down, then the whole store's going to go down. And I, not to be a big Superman hero or superhero man, but I like Superman, so it's like one of those things where it's just my job to make sure that we have a solid shift and that I keep the positive momentum going. And like I said before, I mean, I can listen to my guests about what they're not thinking, that what we're not doing right, or thinking that saying something negative about what we're doing and how we don't take care of millions of guests, but I also get the 1,000 emails or whatever it is saying how great things are with us and the experience, even when I'm not there. So, I mean, I just take a lot of the good with that little bit of bad that we kind of have to deal with, and just blocking out the noise. And like I said, I'm 50-something years old. Being that my area director just kind of gave me that feedback about don't worry about the noise, I mean, it's just a side effect of the great things that we do all day, every day, I guess.
I love it. Love that. And so we try to instill critical thinking in a lot of our students. What would you say about that is so important when you're going into the workforce, being able to think for yourself and being able to problem solve different things without always having to ask someone what to do?
On that, I'd probably say, like, one of the best things is not always having the right answer, but knowing how to find the answer. Because I mean, I guarantee I don't always have the right answer, but I do have a structured leadership group ahead of me or above me that I know I can always reach out to. I've got several other colleagues of mine or peers of the general managers in the district, in the area, that I can reach out to that might turn out better numbers than me, or not sales, but better numbers than me, or a better food cost or better budgets. So I can reach out to them if I want to find something out. And it really is, I mean, a whole group like you guys, completely to be able to depend on each other. One might have better experience with guests. One might have better experience with numbers. One might have better experience with hiring. One might have better experience with firing. Nobody wants to be the mean person to fire somebody, but I think one of my bosses had once said they had such a great rapport with people and knowing how to sell something that they could actually fire somebody and have the guy thank them for it. So, not that I want to be that person, but yeah.
And so you touched on my next question, which was going to be, how have you ever had to handle that? And if you have, how did that go? What is that like? What is something that you would say to keep in mind when you're going through that process?
Not to sound like business jargon about it, but I've never really had to fire anybody that didn't know it was kind of coming that way. It's like trying to fire somebody that's been late every Wednesday or every Thursday, and then they're wondering why they don't have hours. So I don't fire people; they fire themselves, and it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, that's all it kind of comes down to. I mean, your reliability, your accountability, your work ethic. I mean, if it's not where it needs to be, it shouldn't be a surprise if you're not having a conversation, or you or your managers aren't having that conversation with you prior to that, because it should never be a one and done. It's more of we've talked about this on 13 different occasions about you not performing, about you being on your phone, about you being late to work, about you getting into work already, what time am I going home kind of mindset. Well, if you don't want to be here, you don't have to be. I've got no problem with you not being here or being at work, and just and nobody goes to work because they feel like they want to. Well, sometimes they do, but otherwise we kind of have to. And I mean, so if you don't want to be there, you don't have to be there, but it's usually somebody usually me having to part ways with somebody. It's really not the biggest of surprises, because I've never worked, but I've had a first job before too, so I understand what it's like about, hey, I've never worked before, so how do I get that experience if nobody wants to hire me because I've never worked before? And that's very, very common, but it really is how you present yourself at the table, how you show that hunger, that drive, that I'm ambitious to learn. So.
Love all these answers. You're flowing perfectly with me, because that was going to be my next question. Is how did your initiative when you were younger, really help you grow in your first job? And what was your first job?
My very first job was Giordano's, so that's the other pizza place, whatever. Ironically, I never thought it at all. And believe it or not, I did not know then I wasn't even going the hospitality restaurant business, because I think I was like 16 or something working in the kitchen. And they offered me a manager position in the kitchen, and I turned it down because I said, there's no way I want to do this for the rest of my life. And then I started working up front with the guests and stuff like that a little bit, and it was just a whole different perspective on, in the kitchen or in the back of the house, you kind of bust tail, and in the front of the house, you're kind of kissing it. So it's like kissing babies and shaking hands up front, and in the back of the house, you're sweating bullets and burning yourself with the pizzas in the ovens or whatever it is in the kitchen or in that aspect of it. But and that's probably what's helped me become so good at what I do, is because I feel like I do a very good part of both of them. I can go in the back of the house, work with my guys so that I have that respect for what they're doing, how they're doing it, and not just telling somebody how to make a better pizza if I can't make it myself. But I could also go up front of the house and I can kiss babies, shake hands, work the guests over, get them to understand that it was a mistake. We're going to own it, and we're going to make right on it. So,
love it.
Okay. So what does a typical day look like for you as the manager?
Coffee? I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I walk into my restaurant, unfortunately, well, not say unfortunately, because I'm passionate about what I do, I'm always on my phone with my restaurant or emails and stuff like that. Even on my days off, I still give it a little bit of time to have an idea what's going on with my store. But on my days of work, like I'll go in today and look at a prep list. So it's not all just office work. I really kind of have some prep to do throughout the day, and make sure my guys know what they need to expect and prep for the day based on what our sales kind of trends are for the past week. Has it been a busy week? We were slow as heck this weekend because of 4th of July in Chicago and everything like that. So having to react to those sales and know how we close out the week is kind of like how I'm going to plan the rest of my day. And then just kind of prep, and then we got 2 hours to prep, and then open the doors and start taking care of our guests, waiting for the phone calls to happen. We do have, just like anything else, there's always lists to follow on. Did you do this at 10:30? Did you do this at 11? Did you do this at 12? At 12:30? At 1? And because I've been in the business long enough, it's like a lot of that stuff's already like in my head to kind of do without having to really worry about a list. But we still have prep lists or punch lists to make sure that we're getting things done throughout the day. and to keep us on task. And that goes from me doing this as long as I have to somebody being a brand new restaurant, being a brand new manager to the restaurant, or to at least Lou Malnati's or any restaurant, and knowing that, hey, this is what we expected you to do. So this way it sets you up for success. I don't remember how they said it, but it's like one of those things where if you fail to plan, then plan to fail. But we could do that all day with like dream work, or teamwork is the dream work. And one of my probably most popular things that I really like telling my staff and my guests and people is build a team so strong that you don't know who the leader is. Because it doesn't make a difference if I'm wearing a T-shirt or a dress shirt. I'm still the GM based on what I do and how I do it with my staff.
I love that. And I totally agree with that. Something that, our boss tells us is to plan with the pre-mortem and post-mortem. So just always have, everything in mind, no matter what, how many situations can happen, and do we have a solution for it?
I've never heard it like that, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a great way to think about it. So what is something that you would tell someone that would, want to get into upper management, maybe corporate, stuff like that? What skills and attributes did you build that helped you get into your role?
It would be just touching back on putting in the grind, putting in the hours. My district right now, or the district that I'm in, has probably about 9 stores, and I've probably been to about 6 of them because they've needed coverage. So I put myself out there to try to help out as often as I can. A lot of it, or some of that, is just because I feel like I can, and my store runs well without me in the store. And the other part of it is because this way I can see 9 other stores, or I can see 6 other stores, see what they do, how they do it, and either take something good that I saw in the store and bring it back to mine to even make my store that much better, or something I didn't like and maybe share that with the general manager or my area director on what they could be doing, and this is probably why they're not running such good numbers, or why they're probably not getting the best of feedback from their guests. We have a huge kind of mindset in the restaurant that talks about it. It's called tattle, but it's really based on the guest feedback. And in my store, I try to make sure that every guest, every time, gives us feedback on what we're doing and how we're doing it. Other stores that I've been to will do that 1 out of every maybe 10 or 15 guests. So on a slow day, they might get 2 or 3. So at the end of the week, I maybe get 40 to 30 responses at the week, and other stores doing the same volume end up getting maybe like 10 or 15. So yeah.
Okay, for sure. And so how does Lou Malnati's in your district give back to the community? In what ways do you guys interact and make sure that you guys are getting the name out there, making sure people are seeing the name, the brand, and making sure that they see that you guys care about the community?
We have, Lou Malnati's has a function or a department called Kindness Rocks. So if anybody has like a group function, we're allowed to donate to it. Not only just donate like money to it, but we also donate our time. The staff actually gets, the company will donate the amount of money that the staff works to donate to that function. I do a lot with schools, any kindergarten, any school, any grade school, any high school, anybody that has a function that they want us to donate to, I try to put my time out there to it. And not only just put our name on it, like a donation of some sort, but definitely if there's Serena Hills Elementary in Chicago Heights, I went to, on 2 different occasions, we donated probably like 30-something pizzas for two groups of kids that were doing, it was a Christmas, who stole the Christmas stole Grinch, the Grinch stole Christmas thing. So they watched a cartoon for like an hour and a half, and we fed them pizzas. And it was completely out of our pocket on 2 different occasions. But the kickback to that was that we had such a rapport with them that I've probably gotten thousands of dollars in PTA events or school functions and teachers events and stuff like that. So it pans out. It's just, building rapport with the community. I'm grateful to really be here. I really am, because all that does is say whatever interaction I might have had sets it. It sets that mark, and I really do to this day love what I do all day, every day. So if anybody ever has any kind of function, I've already volunteered. If there's anything more like this you guys need, I'm absolutely game. So
thank you.
Absolutely.
I may take you up on it.
Lou Malnati's in Flossmoor. I'm the only GM there. So
Okay, so I'm a pizza lover myself, so I wanted to ask
here we go. I'm just kidding.
what's your favorite pizza on the Lou Malnati menu?
Our deep dish Lou add sausage. So it's a garlic butter crust. It is a spinach mix with mozzarella cheese. It's got light cheddar cheese, mushrooms, sliced Roma tomatoes, and then you just add sausage to it. Even as a veggie pizza, if you don't eat meat, even as a veggie pizza, the Lou is amazing. But when you add sausage to it, it just sets it off.
Love that. So I heard.
I don't have pizza.
If history, I wish. I heard if history is correct, Lou Malnati's had created deep dish. Is that correct?
Lou Malnati's, I don't think they created deep dish. They worked with, so Mark Malnati originally worked with Pizzeria Uno's, and back in the day, and the two of the owners that were working together, Mark Malnati had a different vision, and he was trying to instill it in Pizzeria Uno, and it didn't click with them, so they didn't. So Mark went on his own way and parted ways and started his own Lou Malnati's, and 70 years later, we've kicked off 50-something stores in like 5 different states.
I love that.
And still growing.
So that leads to my next question is, how have you seen innovation in your field grow as long as you've been in? So you said that, your first job was Giordano's. How has the pizza business grown in that time now that you're a general manager? What things are different and makes it more efficient, more cost effective, makes it more fun, appealing?
It's not fun. I'm just kidding. It is fun. No, I love what I do. I'm just kidding. There's just always technology is going to always be catching up with us. I mean, I can tell you, like on my day off, I can look at my phone and know what my sales are. Besides all the emails we get on where we stand on a daily basis, but everybody, KDS, like the big Burger King or McDonald's systems and stuff, the touch screens and all that. The days where you guys, nobody's bringing you a paper receipt that's handwritten with what you paid for anymore. Now it's at the table. You can pay for it all right then and there. You can order it right then and there. You don't even have to talk to people to dine into a restaurant anymore. But I guess so. There's definitely technology all day, every day. But I guess in the restaurant business, the biggest key to what I think is a lot of my success and a lot of successful managers is their gut checks, their gut instinct on what they do and how they do it, and their ability to react to, yes, we're busy, no, we're not busy. Yes, this person is really not working out. Yes, no, yeah, they are. So there's not to say it funny because I know we're talking about technology a little bit, but the whole AI thing, you're never going to get a robot to come up to a table and apologize for something that didn't happen, or fix it, or make this a little bit better done, or just make you feel better about you coming into the restaurant again. Jones, on your 3rd time, it's great to see you. It's funny, but I have a guy, his last name is his Sheets. So every time he walks in, he's like, yeah, paper sheets just like the paper. And it's just become a joke because I'll see his ticket in the kitchen, and I know he's in there because he'll hear me in the background saying, hey, sheets like papers are here already, and he's at the front door. So you're just never going to get that. And how everybody says like hospitality is not just a word. You should be able to feel it, and your guests can tell. Your guests can tell when you're being hospitable over the phone, opposed to anything else he can get for you. Was that it? Opposed to, would you like anything else? I was able to take my daughter to work with me like a year ago, and the whole difference between somebody saying, what do you want or what would you like, is just a world of difference. It's do you want Parmesan and red pepper, or would you like? It's a world of difference on how you're talking to somebody, and they should be able to feel it.
Absolutely. And so over the years, how adaptive have you been yourself in adopting different things that have been coming along to make you a better GM, a general manager, to get to where you are? How open are you to new things?
Very much so. Lou Malnati's is the culture Lou Malnati's has. They've got several different systems in place, but what we really thrive on a lot of is our check-ins. Literally, there's like I wish I could tell you I remember all of them, but everybody checks in with each other. You know what? How are you feeling today? And it's not about just work, because if there's something wrong with you personally, then you want to bring it to the table a little bit. That might impact why somebody's not putting out the 100%, the right, performing 110%. So we really do check in with each other because we care about each other. We really do. And another thing about Lou Malnati's, it's called a clearing that we have. And it's, if you and I aren't getting along about something, then we've got about 24 hours to put it on the table, not let it dwell, and not make up stories about why he didn't do something and then why he didn't do it again. Well, if I don't let him know what he's not doing, then there's no way to fix it. And I owe it to myself as well as him to make sure that in order to continue to build a great relationship, and because I do care about moving the store forward, moving the shifts forward, is to be able to communicate that effectively. So communication is effective in everything and anything you guys are going to ever do in life. And if you can't, I always try saying that I try to make sure I communicate with everybody and anybody to make sure I get a win out of it. And getting a win out of it doesn't mean it's my way. It just means getting it to where we both agree on maybe disagreeing. Or maybe we agree on saying, you know what, I've done this 20 times. I know this is how it's going to turn out. If you think doing it this way is going to work, cool, I'm okay with you trying it. But when it doesn't work out that way, then we just reflect back on it. I just had my manager change my kitchen 3 different ways to find out that it's pretty much 80% back to the way I had it. So I'm okay with that.
For sure. And so speaking more on conflict management, how often do you have to do that? And when you do that, do you put yourself in a different headspace? Do you go, think about both sides? Do you think about anything else psychologically, what's going on with them maybe? Have they had a bad day, things like that?
You kind of have to, you definitely have to. And again, a lot of the classes that we talk about in the restaurant business that I'm in, or at least with Lou Malnati's, there's a lot about keeping to your personal feelings a lot. And I mean, we bring them to work all day, every day. Everybody that makes it sound like you can check on work and leave everything at home, I mean, sometimes it's hard. It really is. But if you don't, again, back to the communication, if you don't communicate that with my boss about, hey, you know what, I had a bad day, I just got into a fight with my mom, I got into a fight with my boyfriend, my girlfriend, whatever it is. So, hey, great, I know you're here to work still, maybe I'll just put you on phones today so you don't have to be that surprisingly friendly hospitality person at the front door. So, and that brings us down to the simple fact, it's communication, it's about the fact that we're still all human. And again, I can have personal things that are make it difficult a little bit to bring back to work, and I still know I have a job to get done. So maybe I just put myself on the line and work today and let my cashiers take care of the guests unless it's something really crazy. But yeah.
That's great. That's great. So before I open it up to questions, I just wanted to know if you had anything you wanted to mention that I didn't ask you that you wanted the students to know.
I don't know. I know I wrote a whole thing down, but I didn't know I didn't know. It's all right. I try to be prepared. It just looks good. That's all right. No. Like I said, I mean, just as back as my father goes, you work hard, you play hard, be on time, be humble, being confident. I mean, these are some of the simple things that I did right. Being confident is a whole different world to being conceited. I'm great at what I do because I try to build a team. The words that I would also say, besides the whole build a team so strong that you don't know who the boss is my thoughts are always wanting to breed success and develop as many strong people as I can around me, because it's only going to make my job that much easier. It's only going to strengthen somebody that doesn't know how to do something. And I mean, build each other up before you break anybody down.
So my last question before I open it up to
you said that was your last.
questions.
I'm just kidding.
But I'm very interested.
See, that we can laugh, it's a good thing.
I'm very interested to know what if you have a next step. Do you plan on venturing further in corporate with Lou Malnati's?
Probably. I'm very, very happy where I'm at. Like I said, I'm very happy where I'm at. I've worked full service restaurants for a lot of my time, and I didn't know I was going to take as well to go working like a carryout store, because I love talking to my guests and stuff like that. But I've gotten such a relationship with my guests right now that I don't miss anything that I'm doing really, kind of, except for having to walk more steps every day. But I mean, I have a great relationship with my staff, with my guests. I could do more of these all day, every day too, if I had time. But no, I'm pretty happy where I'm at, unless there was some role in between not being an area director. I've mentored other managers in the stores that are newer to the company and built great relationships there. So if they make a salaried position for something like that, bouncing around 3 stores instead of 10, I would do something like that. But
okay, great, for sure. All right, so we're gonna open it up to student questions. Do we have any right now? Ooh,
what's up?
We got a couple.
Hi, my name's Egan. I just want to know, how much do you make as a general manager?
That is, let me tell you this. This is the most money I've ever made and the least amount of hours I've ever had to work in the restaurant business. At Lou Malnati's alone. Lou Malnati's, the salary base is definitely based on, I mean, I'm also with the company 4 years almost. So what I get brought in at is a whole different world on what somebody else gets brought in at. I brought 20-something years plus of experience to the restaurant or to the business. Other people that have gone the educational route, as far as let me go get a culinary art degree, this and that. I'm not going to ever belittle education, but I also say that, you know what, it's a very good balance on getting a gut check on, do you have the work experience as well as do you have the work knowledge about it. So my money is, like I said, the most money I've ever made, the least amount of hours I've ever had to work. Any other concept, GMs have worked 60-something hours a week easily. I'm lucky to put in 40 to 45 hours or so a week at least. So it's an extremely great balance of work life and family life.
Next, Ori.
Yes.
Hello. How are you?
Good.
Good. So my name is Kyle Watson, and I was wondering, what is your favorite part and least favorite part about your job?
My favorite part is, I wouldn't even say my guests, but my staff and my guests both. I love what I do. Again, I'm passionate about it. I get to give people pizza all day and have them be happy about it for the most part. I get to go to work. I get to bond with my guys and my crew my crew front of the house and back of the house both. Everybody will probably tell you that they know that I love fishing. I just get to talk to people all day. And like I said, to talk to people all day, make great pizzas. Because I can have a great rapport with my staff, working hard and playing hard, that my store puts out great numbers. So on a weekly basis, when all our stores are talking as a district, I don't really have to say a whole bunch except for because my store doesn't get called out on not meeting budgets, not making numbers, not meeting the standards on what our company sets for us. So my store usually has a tendency of exceeding those numbers.
Might have to hit you up for those fishing spots later.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Palumi.
Oh, okay. Hi, my name is Palumi, and my question is, why did you become a general manager? Like, any decisions or any moment that made you become a general manager?
I became a general manager, honestly, just because the ability, like I said, the mindset that I wanted to be able to breed success and just keep on teaching others. I feel like it wasn't really. I don't even know if I remember making the decision to become a general manager. It was somebody saying, "Hey, you've gone to all these other stores, you've worked all these other restaurants, and the knowledge that you have, the leadership skills that you have." Like I said, I don't want my staff to ever feel like they have to work for me, but they want to work with me. And making people feel like that is like it might as well be like a community. So it's really just not. It's not about, oh God, I got to go to work. It's like, hey, pretty cool. We're going to go to work and we're going to have a good time. We're going to work and make some money and take care of some people. And not say it doesn't seem like work, but it takes a little bit of that away, that it doesn't seem so much like work. But I just, after my first GM position, which I don't even remember who it was with, they were. Any other position after that, I just kept on taking as general manager because that's just what came across the board. But at the end of the day, honestly, too, you can put whatever letters you want in front of my name. It doesn't make a difference if it's area director, AD, or GM, or assistant GM. It's not going to stop me from performing, from taking care of my guests, from taking care of my staff, from taking pride in what I do. I would never want to give somebody something that they shouldn't have, and that's all it is. So it's not even about it. The letters don't mean anything really to me. It's like my keys, my door, my office doesn't mean anything to me if you're not doing what you want to do anyways.
I just wanted to know what leadership traits you think are important in your business.
Accountability, not to be funny about it, but being on, like I said, coming back to being on time again. Accountability, being on time, say what you mean and mean what you say, but also be very humble to being able to be taught something. I can be 50-something years old right now and still know that I have to learn. I've learned in the last year how to communicate a little bit more effectively and not be defensive about something, not to be defensive about somebody or to be defensive about something that somebody's giving me some solid feedback on, something I might need to change, about being strong-minded. Like I said, going back to being confident, not conceited about what I can or can't do. So being open-minded and humble and being willing to learn still. At 50-something years old, as much as I've been in the restaurant business, to still be learning, personally as well as administratively.
Okay. Ooh.
Tamia, and then you, because you already asked one.
Hi, my name is Tamia, fellow Thunderbird here.
There you go.
While you were working, was there ever a point in time when a customer drove you to the point where you wanted to crash out?
Crash out is just a young people way of saying that you get, real
Lash
upset.
out.
Yeah,
Lash
right,
out.
correct. Lash
I
out.
got a better word for that. No, I'm just kidding. But I guess I'd say I had one time a guest that was upset about something. I don't even know what I really even did. But at one point I was told to not go back in the dining room because the guest was pissed off about something that I did. And I couldn't even, I was probably more upset that at that time my general manager told me to do that, opposed to, I mean, yeah, I guess I was just probably whatever word you said. I was pretty crashed out because somebody told me that I had to literally. That's when a perfect example when you try thinking the guest is right. I'm like, I have a restaurant to run. I'm not worried about it. If you don't want me to talk to your table, I got no problem not talking to the table. But oh no, I have no problem not talking to the table. But I still have 80. Like I said, the noise of that one table. I still got 80 other tables that I can take care of and smile, nod, make sure they have great experiences. But you just took that away from me and my guests. So it happens slim and none because I'm better than that. I'm much better than that now. So at that point, back then, if one of those kind of what would you do now things, I would have probably never. I would have told my general manager at the time. I said, I'm not going to let that guest do that to me. I'm great at what I do, and if they don't want to talk to me, that's totally fine. They can either stay and enjoy the rest of their dinner, and I'll talk to every other table, every other guest around them. So yeah, it has happened.
Me again. So I work at Chick-fil-A, and I've been working since October, and it's a new what's it called?
General manager?
No, building. Like
okay.
They just construction thing. You know.
They just opened.
Huh?
They just opened.
Yeah, we just opened in October, and I've been working since then. My question is, how do you have the patience? Like you said, your first job was
Giordano's.
So, like, how did you have the patience to stay there if they don't treat you right? And like, I just want to know, how was your first job experience? If that makes sense. Like,
No, it does.
Your hardships.
It's perseverance. It really is. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I've worked for other concepts that I would have anxiety pulling into the parking lot. So it's about perseverance. It's about that paycheck at the end of the day sometimes, and but there's a paycheck next door too. And I don't know anything about Chick-fil-A, so I really can't speak on behalf of what they're doing. But I could tell you the same thing about, Giordano's, about Lou Malnati's, about Cracker Barrel, about Fridays, any one of those concepts you want to talk about or whatever, that it really is the leadership in that store. If that leadership isn't making you feel comfortable, and it just depends on if you're talking about the leadership or you're talking about the clientele themselves. Clientele, I can't control who comes in my restaurant. I could just control how I react to them. And like I said, if one guest is gonna crash you out or whatever it was, then let the other 90 guests wow you about having a great day. Smile, nod, make somebody else happy, and that'll make you feel better about it. And don't worry about that noise. Probably the best advice I've gotten in the past year or two is don't worry about the noise, the little noise. Let the guests walk out, smile, nod. I don't care if you gave them something just to shut them up. But there's other guests, there's other staff, there's other stores that will appreciate what you bring to the table.
Perfect. Well, I think that's all we got for right now. Thank you so much, Mr. Hagoya. Let's give him a round of applause, guys. Thank you guys so much for all of your questions. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for coming and spreading your wisdom and all your years of experience with our students. I love how a lot of them are going into their first jobs and they got all these great tips and nuggets. So thank you guys so much.